Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we would have a look at some of these suggestions past the developers for the last month today. Obviously with the dev server going on and a bunch of other stuff, we haven't got around to it yet, but there is a bunch of really cool stuff in this past the developers that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. This is for August of 2025, and we're going to start off with the ground stuff. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. Let's get started. The first vehicle is for America, and it's the M1167 HMMWV. The HMMWV, or the High Mobility Multi-Purpose Wheeled Vehicle, or the most common name of it being the Humvee, was designed and built by AM General. The Humvee is a utility vehicle that was designed to replace three vehicles, being the M151 quarter-ton Jeeps, the M561 Gamma Goats, and also the CUCV. The first Humvee that entered service with the TOW, or the Tube-Launched Optically Tracked Wire Command Link Guided System, was given the identification the M966 HMMWV, and has changed over the years of service, with upgraded or improved models being given different types of identifications, with the most modern tow Humvee being the M1167 HMMWV from the M1100 series of HMMWVs. The Humvee itself was first introduced by the US military in 1984 and was first deployed to combat in 1989 during Operation Just Cause, the invasion of Panama, then proceeding to see combat later during the Gulf War, along with conflicts in Somalia, the Balkans, Syria, and countries in the Middle East. The Humvee went through several modifications while being deployed in other countries, with slight engine and also transmission upgrades, armor and survivability for crew, along with a whole system upgrade, with modern Humvees being deployed with a remote operated turret with the use of modern thermals and also night vision optics. The Humvee has had the ability to mount different weapon systems ranging from light machine guns, heavy machine guns, grenade machine guns, the GAU-19A or B Gatling gun, the M134 minigun, or the BGM-71 TOW. Along with being fitted with offensive combat, it also was given defensive abilities, with rendering aid to engineering and also ambulance-fitted Humvees. Some of the different weapons and types of upgrades fitted to the Humvee are the M249 in several variants, the M240 as well, the M60, the M2HB, even the DSHK Russian heavy machine gun, and the 40mm belt-fed grenade launcher, and the BGM-71 tow system. The armor itself has gone through upgrades from canvas roofs and just steel doors, being known as soft tops. The Humvees also then were equipped with light armored roofs and doors with semi-bullet resistance glass. The gunner also had a metal shield around the vehicle-mounted weapon system, and some having armor fully encasing the gunner itself, being known as the light-skinned Humvees, with the final variants being equipped with bullet resistance armor and also windows up to the LMG, and the gunner having bullet resistance armor and glass surrounding him, and the vehicle-mounted weapon system then being referred to as up-armored Humvees. The engine of the Humvee was originally a 6.2-litre V8 diesel, or a 6.5-litre V8 non-turbo diesel engine that was later upgraded to a 6.5-litre turbocharged diesel engine. The transmission was upgraded from a 3-speed automatic to a 4-speed one, to obviously accommodate the bigger engine. The specific Humvee that is being looked at is the M1167. This one specifically is the one with the BGM-71 tow system. It was the most recent tow Humvee equipped with the most modern armor package, utilizing upgraded armor and bullet resistance glass. The tow ordinarily could be manually detached off of the Humvee and then added to a tow tripod that is usually stored in the vehicle itself. During the late 1950s, the US Army's research and development, along with ballistics research laboratories, worked on anti-tank missile programs that later led to the tube-launched optically tracked and also wire-guided system, also it was later shortened to and taken into production, being the TOW. The TOW system replaced the US Army's M40 recoilless rifle and the French NTAC missiles that had also been purchased. The vehicle itself, since it uses the BGM-71 TOW, would be able to fire the TOW-2A, B, and also the TOW Bunker Buster, which would be incredibly fun. For Britain, we have the Alvis FV601 Saladin. In the years directly following the end of the Second World War, the British Army would issue a requirement for a new 6x6 wheeled armoured vehicle to replace its aging fleet of AEC armoured cars. Design work would begin in 1947, with a contract being awarded to Alvis Cars to build 2 prototypes for trials. This new vehicle was designated the FV601A and was originally armed with an Ordnance QF 2-pounder gun. Knowing this gun would not be sufficient, Alvis also proposed a much heavier fire support variant, designated the FV601B, which was armed with the new 76mm low-pressure gun. This vehicle was subcontracted out to Crossley Motors, which engineered and fabricated 6 pre-production models, which were then further modified by Alvis, ultimately creating the FV601C, which would then enter mass production in 1958 as the Alvis FV601 Saladin. The design would prove rather successful, and the Saladin and its variants would be constructed at the Alvis factory at Coventry until 1972, when the design was discontinued. The Saladin did well on the export market, despite its primary competitor, the French Panhard AML-90, which was much more heavily armed, and also cheaper. And the vehicle would see service with 25 countries' armed forces, with some remaining in service to this day. The success of the Saladin also led to the success of the Saracen APC, as both shared common components, which extended to the Stalwart and also the Salamander, creating a universal chassis concept which would later be repeated by Alvis's CVRT concept. In British service, the Saladin was used across a myriad of theatres, most notably by B Squadron 16-5 Lancers during their defence of Nicosia Airport in 1974, and subsequent operations in Cyprus under the UN banner. The Saladin would also see service in the Troubles, before they were redistributed to Commonwealth nations as military aid upon the implementation of the Scorpion in British formations. The vehicle would have access to the 76mm L5A1 gun with 2 M1919A4 machine guns to back it up. It also had access to a 15.5 horsepower per ton thanks to a Rolls-Royce B80 Mark 6A engine, giving it 170 horsepower. For Japan, we have a familiar face which is slightly different, the Type 1 Honi 2. Following the outbreak of war with the United States, the development of armored fighting vehicles by the Japanese military often involved directly referencing existing vehicles from the German army in order to expedite the prototyping process. While towards the end of the Pacific War, there were instances of studying American tanks by the technical side, the Imperial General Staff remained heavily reliant on German designs, with little reference to AFVs from other countries such as the United States or the Soviet Union. The Type 1 105mm self-propelled gun, the Honi 2, was developed based on the concept of the 10.5cm self-propelled howitzer, the Vesper, which was deployed in the mobile artillery regiments on the German armored divisions and was based on the chassis of the Panzer II tank. The purpose of developing this vehicle, similar to the Type 1 gun tank, or the Honi 1, was to convert the self-propelled artillery units within tank divisions or tank brigades using the chassis of the outdated Type 97 medium tank, or the Chi-Ha, that was becoming obsolete. The tank divisions established in 1942 consisted of 2 tank brigades, each with 2 tank regiments, 1 mobile infantry regiment and 1 mobile artillery regiment, and also other units. The mobile artillery regiments comprised 1 battalion equipped with Type 90 field guns of 75mm in caliber, and 2 battalions equipped with Type 91 105mm howitzers. The Honi 1 was a self-propelled version of the Type 90 field gun, while the Honi 2 was intended to be a self-propelled version of the Type 91 105mm howitzer. Development of the Type 1 105mm self-propelled gun, codenamed Honi 2, began in March of 1941, and the prototype vehicles were completed by mid-1942, undergoing practical trials at the Army Field Artillery School. Due to favourable trial results, it was standardised as the Type 1 105mm self-propelled gun within the same year. Production of the Honi 2, like the Honi 1, was carried out at the Hitachi Kaimeri factory. It is said that a total of 138 units of the Honi 1 and also 2 combined were completed after November 1943, although production of the Honi 2 seems to have been very limited. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.